having come from the outside in a lot of different groups, I didn't necessarily know how to fully connect. I knew how to listen, and I took advantage of that.
For Xavier Wilson, finding the deeper meaning in life is a passion. He grew up in a challenging situation, moving from home to home when he was just a young boy. But that has shaped him into a man that's looking for a deeper meaning and connection in life. I think you're going to really enjoy hearing from Xavier Wilson. Today I'm here with Xavier Wilson, and I'm really excited to hear your story.
Thank you. Where should we start?
Well, let's start with, what do you do for C&G, and how long have you worked for us?
Right now, I just started out as a lead op or lead tech, I guess.
You started out there?
Well, just the last 2 weeks, actually. I just finished training for that.
Okay.
But the past 3 years, I've been an operator, so on the lines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started out up in Films One in Ohio, Lexington, Ohio,
Yeah.
and I liked it a lot there. It was very fast paced there. I think most of the lines there are 10 minutes or under, so you got to get really good at time management and stuff.
And
But
so you relocated from the Lexington, Ohio area down here to Blythewood,
yep.
South Carolina. Tell me about that.
Uh, so I kind of want to get into real estate at some time. I want to start saving up, buy properties, and then hopefully rent them out and stuff. And just listening to podcasts on that, I heard both North Carolina and South Carolina are excellent just because of how much land's available and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So looking into CNG just because I like CNG so much, I saw that we had a Blythewood down here, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let me try. And they
Mm-hmm.
accepted me right away. I liked it.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, a lot of people from the north think about retiring to South Carolina, wanting to move down here. And here you are at age 23 down here and, getting into real estate. That could be really great, because I think more people want to move down here.
I'm hoping. I'm very how should I say it? I'm very motivated
Hmm.
to do it. And so far, I like the community down here. It's very warm. Well,
Hmm.
I know we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I so far though, I think I think just the growth here I've seen just in people and the company is just excellent. Just
Hmm.
with line 9 coming in and stuff, everybody slowly getting an understanding of how that works and stuff. I like it.
Yeah. Awesome. So is your family still up in Ohio?
Yeah, my sister, my mom, and my uncle and grandparents are all up in Lexington, and my sister's actually in Columbus.
Oh, okay. So no one's down here with you
Uh,
here?
no, I have in my biological family, I have a half brother up in North Carolina that I've
Hmm.
kind of started texting a little bit. We might get in contact this summer,
Hmm.
possibly.
Yeah. So tell me about growing up, your family.
Growing up, I bounced around a few different families actually. So my biological family I was with till about 3, maybe 4, and then I was with my grandparents from them up till the age of like 5. My grand my grandpa passed away, so I kind of went with my aunt and uncle for a little while until I finally got adopted with my mom in Ohio, and she's been great to me. She's excellent.
Wow.
Taught me most of the stuff I know, I guarantee. One of my favorite words she always says is, well, I'm sure everybody gets it, but world does not revolve around you. Everything that you do affects everybody else in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm. Wow,
I love that.
that's I love that. So that, you know, being bounced around, kind of going to a few different families when you were young, I'm sure that impacted you in some way. How do you think it impacted you, Xavier?
Well, I started out in Des Moines, Iowa, and then went to Minnesota, and then went to Ohio. So definitely a lot of different cultures, seeing
Hmm.
uh different ways of families dynamics and stuff. Definitely learn how to interact with people, the emotional intelligence.
Yes.
It helped a lot. It definitely did. Uh, I think I think the most the hardest part with it is just not having that full knowing where you came from. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I've made it personally a power just because I don't. I see everything from different points of view because
Mm-hmm.
of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think family holds a lot of people not necessarily back, but to a certain standard, and everyone can go past that standard.
Wow. That's a really insightful answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that for yourself?
For me, just there is no standard that is too high for me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always trying to drive past, you know. I'm gonna stay in this company as long as possible, but I hopefully some point I'm able to work for myself. That's always the drive in my head, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to be as good of a leader as you've been.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I mean that. Just the ownership in this company means a lot to me. That's a
Mm-hmm.
huge possibility for real estate in my head.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily banking on it, but it's definitely going to help me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important to make those first investments the right ones, right? Can
Exactly.
make all the difference
Exactly.
in the world. So Xavier, you seem like a really happy person. You to me, you seem like someone, with just joy. You're full of joy.
I think I think that's the way that I like to come off, and I
Ah,
think that that
okay.
definitely is an emotion I have, but I think that it's better to, like I said, affect people in a positive way than
Mm-hmm.
even if you are in a bad mood, you don't have to be showing it. You don't have to be putting that out into the world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a believer that, how you show up, whether let's say in the inside you're not feeling happy, but you project joy, you bring joy. When you
Exactly.
bring joy to others, then that joy comes back to you, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like what goes around comes around, and
Yeah.
it's for real. It's
Yeah.
definitely for real.
Yeah.
And I think just like if you really feel how negative emotions like don't energize you, like take it
Yes.
away, like make you so tired. Like whenever I'm mad, second I take a second, I actually just think about what's going on. I realize how worse my mood is getting
Mhm.
just because I'm focusing on that negative attitude. You know?
You know, for someone your age to get that is really cool. I
I,
mean, because many people can live their whole lives and not figure that out. So how did you figure that out?
I think it has a lot to do with having been bounced around as a kid, just trying to understand people. Like growing up, I was always very confused just because people always seem to get it. And I understand now that's just because that's the only way that they had been like taught, you know what I'm saying? But having come from the outside in a lot of different groups, I didn't necessarily know how to fully connect. I knew how to listen, and I took advantage of that. And so it helped me learn what other people were thinking. And so then
Mhm.
after that, like I'd say at 18 or 19, I started looking a lot into psychology,
Mm.
and that led me into philosophy. And I love philosophy to this day.
Mhm.
Uh, my mom grew me up in the church a lot, and so I was very, very religious growing up. And I say I'm still religious today, just not in the same religion. I'm more of a, I believe all religions are true. And so I think that if you take the facts and the things you know to be true from other religions, you're going to learn a lot more.
Mhm.
And so just philosophy for sure. I love the thought process. If you really
Yeah.
think about what you're doing, you're
Yeah.
going to come out on top, you know?
Right. It's interesting. I agree with you. I That was one of my favorite subjects in school,
Really?
philosophy, and not many people liked it,
Really?
right?
So who was your favorite philosopher if you care? Like if you mind me asking?
I don't even think about it that way. I think about it more in having philosophical conversations, meaning there's no black and white here.
Exactly.
There's no right or wrong.
No,
There's
truly.
no it's 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 being able to have the mind where you can argue both sides. You can see it from both perspectives, and it's not black and white.
Exactly, a good
Because
understanding.
yes, because the world is gray,
Exactly.
and there's many people that want to make it black and white.
Yeah, everyone wants to find a good and a bad. Everyone wants to point a finger, but in the
Yes.
end, you got three fingers pointed back at you. You gotta you.
Yes.
I love like this from growing up religiously in the Bible. It
Uh-huh.
says you have a speck in your eye and or a log in your eye and
Y-
specks in other
yes.
people's.
Right.
Too many people try to find the specks, and I think that's
Yes.
so dumb.
Right.
Work on that log.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. So Xavier, what do you like to do for fun?
I like to go to the beach since coming down here for sure.
Yeah.
I've been boogie boarding a lot. That's something new.
What is
I'm
that?
it's almost it's like a small surfboard, like something you have on your chest, and then you go wave surfing on it.
So you don't stand up on it?
No, this
No.
year I might try to get a surfboard if I can. Try
Oh,
and work on
okay.
surfing.
Okay. So you go out to the ocean here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a
And
couple mile or a couple hours
yeah, I think
from
it's
here.
like hour 40 minutes down
Uh-huh.
to I usually go down to Charleston. My girlfriend's sister's down there, so
Okay.
we'll go down there and visit her for a little while and maybe hit the beach.
Okay. Tell me about your girlfriend.
My girlfriend Hannah, she's awesome. She's amazing. She's very supportive. Uh, she's right now down in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, at SCAD.
Mm-hmm.
She's working on her art degree. I think she has one more semester or one more quarter. I'm not sure. I
Mm-hmm.
should know that, but I don't.
It's okay.
But yeah, she's awesome.
What do you guys like to do together?
Probably watch shows or she's a huge foodie, so definitely going out to
Mm,
eat. She
yeah.
loves food. She's introduced me to so like sushi. Never had before until her, and I gotta admit, I love it. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have some bad sushi, but good sushi is like amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So far, I haven't had any bad sushi, but she's taken me to all the restaurants.
Yeah.
So,
So do you guys like to watch the cooking shows?
I'm
No.
cooking. I'm a terrible cook. I'll be honest. I'm
Mm-hmm.
terrible at cooking. She's from New Orleans though, so
Oh,
she has
yeah.
a little bit of cooking experience. Her
Uh,
mom's an excellent cook. Excellent.
mm, nice. Xavier, what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? Um, I'd say being understood. I take so much time out my life trying to understand people. It really hits different when someone else does the same for me.
Mm, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you ever feel like, can you give me an example maybe of recently when you felt like that?
Uh, I'd say the way I talk and the way I perceive stuff is really different, and so sometimes it takes me one or two tries to come across right or to get the message I'm really trying
Hmm.
to get there,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, certain friends I can just say something once and they instantly understand
Mm-hmm.
what they call Xavier language. My sister's excellent at it. My sister used to translate for my
Yeah.
mom. I'd be saying something, and my mom would be arguing, and she'd be like, "What are you saying? Is this?" She'd be like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's cool. It's kind of like back to that philosophical conversation,
exactly,
the how you choose the words and how you interpret the words and your perspective and
exactly.
yeah.
I like philosophy's been so, like number one impact in my life. I'd say just Carl Jung. Oh, to start off, I'd say I know this name isn't very liked that much in
Mhm.
YouTube at the moment, but like 2020 COVID era, Jordan Peterson, he was an excellent person. I'd say he taught me how to start striving to be better than I am. I'd say
Hmm.
like my mom definitely for sure at the beginning, but he gave me the words to kind of be able to communicate what I want. And then he put me on Carl Jung, and Carl Jung's an excellent psychologist that I still read his books today.
Okay.
He's awesome.
Do you have, maybe a quote or two that you want to share or how they speak to you or
Man,
what is it that Carl
Carl,
Jung
Carl Jung's big thing is learning about your ego, meaning
Mm.
who you perceive yourself as, and having two sides. You have your ego, and then you have your shadow. At
Mhm.
least that's the way I
Yep.
perceive it. And the shadow side is your unconscious, and
Mhm.
I strive a lot to kind of understand myself and understand my shadow so that I can bring that shadow into the light and have less or have more control of my life.
So do you meditate?
I do meditate. I really do. I meditate and I do pray a little bit as well. Like I believe all religions are a little bit true, so I try
Mhm.
to stay moral within all religions if
Mhm.
possible. I mean, I'll admit I eat a little bit of bacon and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, but I I do try to take a little bit of time out of my day to think about what's greater than me, because
Mm.
I don't like to put a name on it.
Mhm.
I believe that it's just the best version you can be is the plan of the best version. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, no, I think that's really insightful.
Thank you.
Big
Thank you.
thinking. Yeah.
Thank you. I try to that's my biggest thing. I like to just see the bigger picture. So many people just like to focus on themselves,
Mhm.
and I think that the second you realize that, hey, you're living in a world full of everybody else. If you
Mhm.
understand everybody else, that just brings more understanding of yourself, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, like you see pictures from outer space back to Earth and you realize we're just all here on this, round planet,
Exactly.
and you
Just
put
out
it
here.
put that in perspective with the whole universe and, each person and
How big's your problem then?
exactly. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me a question now, if
Okay.
if you have one.
So if you could somehow get everyone in the world to know one thing, what's that one thing you would want them to know? Moral perspective wise, or could
Mhm.
be about the job, about yourself, whatever. Just
Mhm.
if you could have everyone know one thing or do one thing, what would you want that to be?
Wow, that's a question.
Thank you.
I could tell you're into philosophy.
Thank you.
I would want everyone to know that what you think about yourself is true for yourself.
Exactly.
So the key to life is to choose the right thoughts.
Exactly. Choose the positive thoughts.
Choose the thoughts that are right for you. Yes. And so like so much of life, people spend worried about somebody else, what somebody said, what happened, what didn't happen, what could happen, what should have happened, what might have happened, versus thinking about for yourself, what do you believe about you? What does Xavier believe about Xavier? What does Kathy believe about Kathy? And
Exactly.
if you focus on that, then I think that's where you can see yourself grow and really become the person you're meant to be.
No, I fully agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I I can't add to that. I really can't. That's awesome.
But it's a hard concept to get because when I say that people are like, "Well, what do you mean like what I think about myself?" Just that. Like just that.
You the first step to that, I think, which so many or so little people actually take the time to do, is understanding that you aren't your thoughts.
Yes.
That you're just looking in on your thoughts. Those
Yes.
you can pick and choose if that's the thought you want to think or if you want to change it.
Exactly. You are the thinker of the thoughts. You are
Exactly.
not the thoughts.
Exactly.
And if you want to think different thoughts, you can do that too.
Exactly. First step is becoming aware of those thoughts.
Yes. Yes. Xavier, you are very advanced in your thinking for your
Thank you.
age.
Thank
Yes,
you.
these are hard concepts to grasp,
I try. I try.
I think for some people, but it's true.
After I do real estate, which no matter what, that's the plan, just because I want to think about my family first, like my future family.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that we're prepared. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But once I feel comfortable in that business pursuit, I plan to open a counseling center. Like I want to go back to school for psychology.
Hmm. Wow. So where do you think that came from? That desire to want to do that?
I think it all goes back to just wanting to be understood and just taking the time to understand people. This every single person that I've taken the time to understand, I've seen grow personally,
Hmm.
whether they know it or not. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've seen it.
And to create that sense of belonging,
Yes, exactly.
belonging for yourself, but also belonging for others.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much negativity in the world, especially right now,
Hmm.
that just people need to start reaching out to their communities, meaning people around them, truly around them, not necessarily through a screen or even just blood. Just make sure people all around you, full
Yeah.
communities.
Yeah. Like this is really on the theme to me of enhancing lives, trying
Yes,
to enhance the lives of others.
nonstop. I feel if everyone tried to do that, who's really gonna fail? You know.
Yeah. That's so good. Xavier, you inspire me.
Thank you. I'm excited to see 10 years from now. You know where this company is and where we're both at. You know.
I am too. I can't wait.
Easy.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.